You guys good? Yep. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Samantha Long, and I am the Public Information Officer for the Frederick Police Department. This afternoon's press conference is being held to address the criminal charges recently filed against one of our officers, Corporal James Dodson, Jr., by the Pennsylvania State Police. Before we begin, I want to note a few housekeeping items. Following prepared remarks from our Chief of Police, Jason Lando, we will open the floor to questions. We ask that questions remain focused on what we can legally and ethically address today. This is an active criminal investigation being led by an outside law enforcement agency, so while we are committed to transparency, there will be limits to what we can share with you today. If you need any additional information, please refer to my media kit. We do have my email, my phone number in the back on page 3. We understand the gravity of this situation. Trust is built not just through words, but through actions. Today, Chief Lando will share what actions were taken by our agency from the moment we were made aware of these allegations, how we are cooperating with investigators, and what steps we are taking to support our community, our staff, and the values we hold ourselves to every day. With that, I will now turn it over to Chief Jason Lando.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jason Lando, Chief of Police for the Frederick Police Department. I just wanted to start by reviewing a timeline of events. I know we released this last week in our video release. I just wanted to kind of go over it again. In August of 2024, a Frederick Police Department employee, an active employee with the department, reported potential criminal conduct by Corporal James Dodson, Jr. This conduct was alleged to have occurred in Pennsylvania. That same day, this was brought to the attention of our command staff, and we took immediate action. The matter was immediately referred to the Pennsylvania State Police, and we were working with them to help get them the information they needed to begin the investigation. Within 24 hours of that occurring, Corporal Dodson's police powers were suspended. His badge, his weapon, and his take-home vehicle, his FPD marked vehicle, we took possession of those items, and he was placed on suspension. Shortly thereafter, the Frederick Police Department requested an independent investigation. This would be an administrative investigation as opposed to the criminal one the Pennsylvania State Police were doing. And because we wanted to stay fair and impartial, we asked the Montgomery County Police Department in Maryland to handle that investigation. We signed an MOU with them, and they immediately began that investigation. That investigation continues today. We do expect it to wrap up shortly, but it does continue today. June 30th of this year, as you know, charges were filed by the Pennsylvania State Police in the state of Pennsylvania against James Dodson, Jr. And as effective at the time the charges were filed, his suspension went from paid to unpaid, so he is not being paid by the Frederick Police Department right now. Those were all some things that had been released previously. I just wanted to rehash them. Following that, we had a couple questions from the public that came up, and I wanted to address those now. Following our press release earlier this week, we received an inquiry asking why the allegations against Mr. Dodson were not made public back in August of last year. The answer is simple. Due process is a fundamental tenet of our criminal justice system. We are legally and ethically obligated to allow an investigation to take place before we publicly release certain information, and that includes the name of the accused and details of the investigation. It is important to reiterate that we, as I said earlier, took immediate action by suspending Mr. Dodson. He did not come into work. He did not hit the street, not once, after we found out about these allegations. So we took immediate action, and as I said before, we took his badge, his gun, and his vehicle. However, to publicly release his name or any details of the case back then in August would not only have been inappropriate at the time, it likely would have tainted both the criminal as well as the administrative investigations. I would also like to address a question that we received surrounding Mr. Dodson's pay status. When it comes to placing an officer on administrative leave or suspension, the law requires us to pay that officer unless and until they are charged with a crime or the administrative investigation has concluded. Now that Mr. Dodson has officially been charged, his suspension is unpaid and will remain unpaid as we await the final outcome of his criminal court case or his administrative case. Finally, I just want to remind everyone that it was one of our own police officers who came forward with this information. It was one of our police officers who did the right thing. This officer, not Mr. Dodson, represents what the Frederick Police Department is all about: honesty, integrity, and doing the right thing even when it is not the easy thing. With that, I'll take questions. And please, as Sam said earlier, just understand that because we are not the investigating agency in either the criminal or the administrative case, there are some things that I just legally and ethically can't answer, but I will do my best. And with that, if you have a question, if you could just raise your hand. Yes, sir.
Chief, if he's acquitted in a trial, will Officer Dodson be allowed back on the force?
So, as I said, there is a criminal and an administrative investigation. So what I don't want to comment now on what would happen if he's acquitted or anything like that. Just know that there's potential very serious action that could be taken at the end of an administrative investigation as well. Yes, sir.
Anyone from Frederick come after this allegation? Any parents and you have been in contact or anything like that?
No, at this time we have no information that anyone, that any children in Frederick have been affected, but we will put out information at the end of this press conference in case anyone does feel the need to reach out if there are other victims out there. Yes.
How long was Dodson with the police force?
He came on in 2007. He's been with us for 18 years.
Do you have any internal complaints, either formal or informal, about Dodson's behavior in the department or attitudes toward other employees?
I can't speak to any internal complaints, and I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to.
No, we're not going to comment on that.
This is Lieutenant Matt Corrado. He's in charge of our internal affairs. So.
Do you know, is he still in custody in Pennsylvania at this point? Do you know?
I can't comment on that, and the only reason I can't is that I know a few days ago he was given a $100,000 bond and he was taken into custody. I don't know if he's posted.
Are there any other investigations concerning other children, not just here in Frederick, but anywhere else?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And then when Montgomery County completes that internal review, will FPD release it, or will Montgomery release it?
When Montgomery County completes their review, they will send it over to us. We'll review it through our chain of command, and if there are sustained charges, then we will take action on those charges.
But will you release the review publicly, or is that an internal document?
It'll be in accordance with PIA laws, so you'd have to file for the PIA, and then it's reviewed by our custodian to see if it meets those criteria.
You just follow the standard practice for requesting information.
Chief, obviously this happened in Pennsylvania. What is your message to the people in Frederick who count on the police to keep them safe, and obviously an officer violated that trust?
Yeah, I can't condemn this alleged behavior any stronger. I mean, please know that this is not what the Frederick Police Department is about. This is one individual who acted in a way that none of us, none of the people behind me, none of our officers, none of our professional staff, none of us condone, none of us find acceptable. As we were talking earlier, this is someone who acted outside of the bounds of anything, I think, that is acceptable or reasonable, and I just can't condemn that any stronger. And that would be my message to the community: is the Frederick Police Department is here to serve and protect every day. I think they do an exceptional job, and as the chief, this honestly, it breaks my heart. It does. It breaks my heart to know that our officers that are out there every day doing the right thing have to go through this as well.
So you said you have been here for 18 years. How he was behaving before, something like that happened?
So while I can't get into any specifics, again, that would have to be a PIA request. The one thing I can tell you is that this was not on any of our radars. This is not something that 18 years with the agency, very involved in community outreach. He's won several awards. This was a shock to all of us.
This is the only criminal investigation that we're aware of, and we won't comment on any administrative investigations.
I think from the statement of public laws in Pennsylvania, they reference that they searched his department device, like a phone was issued. Are there any sort of blocks, filters, anything like that, for department devices that could have blocked something like this, or is that not?
I can tell you, since this happened, we have put additional restrictions on the phones. Is that anything you wanted to touch on? Okay. Since this happened, we have put additional restrictions on the phones. Again, this is just so far out of the bounds of anything that we've ever seen before. So.
And we will be taking 3 more questions, and then we're going to be wrapping this up for today.
But it appears there are no more questions. So.
I don't know if you can answer, like, he have family, he's married, kids, and his age also.
Are you okay with us answering? Yeah. I mean, that's just not our information to put out there, so I would reach out to the Pennsylvania State Police. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
And if anyone did not receive a media kit from us and needs one, please let me know. We have extras. Thank you all for coming out today.
Thank you, guys.